I shoot them with a .22 pistol.
We thought we'd come a long way since we found Kentucky dog wardens choosing bullets over needles. Till we found them still doing it a decade later in 2002. We thought we'd come a long way after Kentucky passed a law in 2004 to establish humane standards at animal shelters. But a decade later, we still found mayhem and misery in between the mice. How bad is it now? Last year, the University of Kentucky sent 6 veterinary students to the 92 shelters that service all 120 counties. In this report, they found 12% of the counties in compliance and over 50% in violation of 3 or more parts of the shelter standards law. Armed with the report, we hit the road with the Kentucky Center for Investigative Reporting and visited, unannounced, shelters ranked among the worst, like Tri-County in Albany, south of Lake Cumberland.
We've completely reformed this place. I mean, it's in great shape now.
The county judge showed up.
How often do you come down here and check out things?
Oh gosh, pretty often.
You do?
Pretty often, yeah.
And you're okay with what's going on?
Yes, yeah.
Behind him, inmates are washing out dog cages filled with feces, shovels full from each pen, and putrid standing water mixed in.
Some of these outdoor cages had so much feces in them, it looked like days and days worth of feces.
We haven't had anybody out here for about a week. I mean, it's there. It's an animal
thoughts
shelter.
on that? Well,
Darling, it's a small county animal shelter. We're a poor county.
Hey, what's going on with your drink? Yeah, you gotta get these out.
In Marion County, we see a pen full of dogs standing in feces-filled water.
With the weather being bad, of course, we pulled all the dogs out of the big run yards because it has been so muddy.
Anderson County, top 15 in Kentucky in per capita income, listed among the worst shelters. They just completed a $19,000 renovation on part of the shelter because the roof is falling in. Spencer County, also in the top 15 in income, also among the shelters needing the most help. The whole facility is about the size of 2 dorm rooms.
Sir, I have no isolation area. I have no place to put sick dogs. I have no place to put vicious dogs. All these animals are kept in just one small area.
Oh, water. Standing water.
We showed what we found to the Kentucky director of the Humane Society.
So there's no agency or department or board that is authorized to deal with complaints on the shelters and enforce compliance with state law. And that is a significant problem.
She says the only thing you can do is sue. That's what citizens did in Edmonson County, where Kim Carroll ran a for-profit shelter next to her house. And we videotaped animals stacked in cages so small they didn't appear to be able to fully stand or turn around.
how long has this litigation been going on? It's years.
I believe it's about 5 years now.
In that time,
Don't air this.
Kim Carroll fought criticism.
If you push the issue, we can go in and put down anything we want to. We don't.
No, I'm just talking about the humane treatment of animals. I'm not telling you to go kill them.
Do you want me to kill it? I don't have a
No,
bigger
I
fight.
don't want you to kill them at all.
Police then found 3 dead cats and a dead dog among 64 others here, many malnourished, having to be euthanized. Officials charged her with animal cruelty and canceled the contracts that had paid her nearly $250,000 to house, feed, and care for the animals over a 3.5-year period. The truth is, there are ship-shaped shelters, like the one we visited in Oldham County, and those that need a lot of help just down the road.
You a dog owner?
Yes, sir.
How do you feel about conditions here as a dog owner?
I feel very sad. It's very poor.
So what can you do about this? Catherine Callahan says you can call your state lawmaker and urge support of HCR 43. That's a resolution to create a task force on shelter oversight and training on the table right now in Frankfort. With Louisville Public Media's Kentucky Center for Investigative Reporting, I'm John Bohl, Wave 3 News. 5 miles of Dixie Highway, just inside the Snyder Freeway. A $14 million pavement replacement project started in 2015, supposed to be done in June of 2016.
It's just as you see it now as far as nothing being done work-wise. Nothing.
It's August of 2017, and I'm interviewing the same guy about the same project in the same winding gauntlet of orange where 36,000 drivers a day tackle the obstacle course.
What is the problem? I don't really know what the problem is.
When we started digging, we found the first long delay was the water company waiting on paperwork from the state to move one water main.
No one is ever out there working.
it seemed like all work ceased.
When no workers could be seen for weeks at a time this summer, memos we obtained show the councilman for this district, David Yates, complaining about the lack of work on the Dixie paving project.
As president of the Metro Council, I have not seen a debacle like this anywhere else in our city.
He set up a packed public meeting to get answers. No one showed from the state or the construction company.
It's mind-boggling to me how that's acceptable.
This July 20th release from the State Transportation Cabinet promised motorists, residents, and businesses will soon see construction activity again on the Dixie Pavement Project. So how much construction activity is really going on out here? What are they actually doing on a daily basis to get this thing done? And how hard are they working? We spent 2 weeks patrolling this long span and recording. What we see each day is one crew of 6 workers with one backhoe, dump truck, and small bulldozer digging along the west side of Dixie. On the Monday and Tuesday, before the start of school Wednesday, it's doubled to 12 workers to finish the exit from Valley High School. Then it's back to 6 workers. And one thing that stands out, a lot of standing around, smoking, or on phones. Hull Construction's Tom Roberts refused to answer my questions on camera. He said, "You don't understand construction. I could put 40 people on the job and it wouldn't expedite the project." When I asked him why he couldn't have one crew in the spot they're in one day and another crew a couple of blocks away in the spot I see them in a week later, he said, "I'm not going to debate this with you."
To have to continue and drive up and down the most heavily traveled corridor in the entire city and see one crew of members working on one little area at a time is frustrating.
We specify a completion date, the things that we want built in a project. It's up to the contractor how much resources they put in order to meet those completion deadlines.
The Transportation Cabinet, which has already extended the deadline because of what it calls utility conflicts, says all they can do is start assessing daily penalties of $25,000 if it isn't finished by May 15th of 2018.
It's just deplorable. I mean, who's paying these people?
State?
Okay.
You.
But our taxes is paying for this. We shouldn't have to put up this for 3 years.
3 years is how long it took to build the Lincoln Bridge and the East End Crossing. And while both those projects crossed a mile of water and joined 2 states, drivers here are still waiting to travel smooth pavement from the Snyder to Greenwood Road. John Bowl, Wave 3 News. Something about the muscle car
I'd call it the love of restoring the past.
makes people want to flex their wallets.
And I've witnessed this. Walk up and pay them $13,000 as they're parked down to get their car restored.
We guarantee everything we do. I've had guys come in crying because when they seen their car, they go, "I can't believe that."
Classic Muscle's Chris Nezer promises fast, quality work.
What kind of turnaround time do you think I might have?
On right now, it's about 90 days.
He doesn't know this customer pricing a paint job is a Wave 3 worker wearing a hidden camera.
We do our homework. We spend a lot of hours doing our homework.
My investigative homework finds Chris Nezer sentenced in Nashville to 51 months in prison in 2010 for false representations to obtain $207,000 through wire fraud. The FBI states Nezer later opened a car restoration business called Classic Muscle, which went bankrupt and shut down. And the judge pointed out Nezer's multiple prior convictions for various degrees of theft.
Basically, it's the same thing he's done here.
Numerous former workers and customers tell me he's signing contracts and collecting thousands with no intentions of finishing car restorations. They say dozens of cars have been sitting in this warehouse down the street for months, some over a year, and there isn't even room to work on them. I watched it for weeks and saw no movement.
Because I've never seen a finished product come out of there. He's just always talking about these people are so stupid, they have more money than they have sense. I could tell them anything, they're going to pay it.
And I asked, when can I get it done? They said, oh, we can get it done right away.
Pat Davis says he was promised one more week for months. He finally got his car back, not finished, plus some of his money, thanks to a public protest he parked in front of Classic Muscle.
Made up a sign and went back in my truck, stating that this guy was a fraud and a scam.
Michael Hitchcock tries a different approach and brings police.
I come to get my car. I come to get my car.
We're working on your car right now.
No, you had ample time to finish it. So I want to get it
Do you
towed.
think we can go ahead and get the cameras out of here, please?
My car been here since November of 2015. I'm at $9,000 now. I want my car, and I'm done.
I tried several times to talk to Nezer. John Bull with Wave 3. I need to ask you some questions about some allegations by former workers and customers here.
You have the 7 appointment. I can't talk to you right now, okay?
When would you like to meet?
No, this is not, I'm not going to get involved in this, okay? Thank you.
This week, I finally got him to answer questions. And I'm told it's not the first time police have been up here with unhappy customers to get vehicles.
There's never been a cop up here.
There's never been a police officer in this parking lot.
Has there ever been a cop up here to get a car?
Not to pick up a vehicle.
He catches himself in that lie later in the same interview.
How many times have we had a customer that turned around and came and got their car done and came in with the cops one time and had the car pulled because, and he said, and you know what the cop said? Oh, it's a civil matter, so we're out the money.
Nezer claims delays are usually caused by customers.
And he's added stuff on and on and on.
Or bad workers he had to fire, and he's not apologizing for anything.
In restoration, you have to be able to have the time. My motto is this, gentlemen. How many times do I say it? We can hurry up and do it wrong, or we can slow down and do it perfect.
And as for the most important accusation by 3 former workers that his warehouse down the street's been filled with cars crammed in, not being worked on, then why can't we just go down to the end of the block and see the backlog of cars down there? Why not?
Because it's not going to happen. That's why.
Chris Nezer says his contracts state they do not give exact delivery dates. As for Mike Hitchcock, he got his car this week. He says the steering broke wheeling it out the door, and other things he paid for weren't finished. John Bull, Wave 3 News.